We met Ukraine, the mother of the Eastern Slavs. And Kiev at its center, the first city founded by the Eastern Slavs. The Cossacks' traditions we explored in Kiev demonstrated the Ukrainian strength and bravery. Now, we will bid farewell to the splendid culture of Kievan Rus and head for the Crimean Peninsula. Here, we will meet the Tatars, the longtime owners of the Crimean Peninsula. This is the second part of our Ukrainian adventure. Moving beyond Kiev, the root of Ukrainian history, we will explore the Tatars' home, the Crimean Peninsula, in this episode. Perhaps it is because of the Black Sea that surrounds it, but the Crimean Peninsula is much warmer than the mainland.
서부 유럽보다는 겨울이 굉장히 추운 편이라서 봄이 오는 게 훨씬 더 반갑게 느껴지고.
At a distance, the Crimean Mountains are visible. They divide the southern part of the peninsula into 3 regions. During the 15th century, there was a state called the Crimean Khanate. This is the Khan Palace, the most beautiful piece of architecture left by the Crimean Khanate. The rulers were of Mongolian descent, but the architecture is in the Ottoman Turkish style.
터키 궁에서도 이렇게 홀에서 창을 이렇게 여러 개 계단에서 내는 게 굉장히 특색이 있었는데 그것도 똑같이 어쩜 그대로 터키를 옮겨다는 것 같은.
Ottoman Turkey's culture is characterized by its blend of Eastern and Western attributes. In particular, geometric patterns are prominent in Ottoman designs.
이게 동양적인 것과 아랍적인 게 합쳐진 게 스테인드 글라스가 보통 이게 스테인드 글라스 있고 장식이 중간에 유리 장식 이렇게 되는데 우리나라 이 문틀처럼 그 창호지 붙이는 문 같은 그 장식에 창호지 대신 스테인드 글라스를 붙였어요.
The Crimean Khanate was a state of Crimean Tatars. This state was a military powerhouse in the 18th century. It lasted for 3 centuries until Ottoman Turkey started to lose its power. Khan Kwirim was the last owner of the palace, and it was he who had the Fountain of Tears built. Why did he order its creation?
여기서 살던 왕이 자기가 가장 사랑하던 왕비가 죽자 돌조차도 눈물을 계속 흘리게 하라 이렇게 명해서 만들어진 눈물 흘리고 있는 돌벽입니다. 굉장히 로맨틱하죠?
The palace and the fountain became even more famous when Pushkin wrote this poem during his exile to the Crimean region in 1820.
이곳은 왕이 머물렀던 공간 조금 떨어져 있는 우리 안채, 별채 같은 곳이죠. 그 왕의 아내가 될 사람들, 또 아내인 사람들과 함께 여자들이 모두 머물렀던 하렘이라고 그러죠.
Located in the innermost part of the palace, this was strictly a woman-only area.
Ну, вы попали в гарем, да, крымских ханов. Начало 16-18 век. Вот есть, допустим, вот эта вот арочка, она 16 века. Вот, обратите внимание, да?
A harem is a women-only area, prohibiting men with the exception of family members. This is part of Muslim culture. This culture shows that Crimean Tatars accepted Islam early on. What clothes do the Crimean Tatar women wear in the palace?
Это, ну, это как бы современное уже шитье. А вот такие костюмы носили постоянно. Вот такие костюмы кладут вот сюда.
At the time, the king could have up to 4 wives, but he was obligated to love them all equally. What would it have been like for the 4 wives? Would they have been happy to receive the king's love? Or would it have been like a prison to them?
밖에 사랑하는 사람을 두고 들어오는 소녀들도 있겠죠. 그래서 이제 도망치거나 그러는 경우들이 종종 생겼던 것 같아요. 그래서 하렘에 보면은 다 창문마다 아름다운 스테인 글라스가 있음에도 불구하고 이런 엄청난 감옥 같은 쇠창살들이 다 이렇게 돼 있고.
What would the lives of these women have been like 500 years ago behind these bars? The Crimean Peninsula, the furthest outreach of the Ukraine, has a unique culture and history different from that of the mainland. While the mainland was the land of the Eastern Slavs, the Crimean Peninsula was a territory of Tatars. While the Slavs believed in Russian Orthodoxy, the Tatars accepted Islam. There's actually a nearby mountain, the name of which is supposed to mean Mountain of the Jews. We decided to seek it out. We were on our way up to the mountain when
아니, 쟤들이 체중 조절 안 하는 아이들이 있습니다.
I unexpectedly stumbled upon some Ukrainian pigs. They looked a little different from the pigs that I was used to.
어쩜 이렇게 포도보다 살이 쪘는지. 돼지로서 최고의 몸매. 일로 와봐. 옵니다.
I cleared my throat and sang to the pig. The pig remained indifferent. Then let's try something different.
돼지 깨우기. 돼지 몰래 깨우기. 시도해봅니다.
Victoria, 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 mio cuore, non lacrimare
포기. 잘자.
We stumbled upon a cluster of abandoned tombs on our way. Seeing the size of the graveyard, it might be that the tombstones are related to a tragic event. As anticipated, the tombstones were written in Hebrew. Is this perhaps why the mountain is called the Mountain of the Jews?
여러 다른 제국들도 그렇지만 이렇게 지나고 나면 흥망성쇠를 이어가면서 이렇게 다 아스라이 사라진다는 생각을 하니까 참 어딘가 쓸쓸하고 덧없음이 인생사가 그렇게 느껴지는 것 같아요.
Ever-flowing time keeps silent about its past. Chufut Kale is a rock mountain. there were people climbing up the cliffs. Kale is a popular spot among mountain climbers.
Вообще прям перед тобой.
Хотите попробовать? Хотите попробовать?
She's telling me to go up. Will I be able to get up there?
Да, Алешенька, да. У нас не команда, мы просто, когда занимаемся. Я раньше занималась этим как спортом, сейчас просто как любитель уже.
I knew it. I could tell right away they were professionals. The climber took off his gear and told me to put it on.
여기가 군데군데 이런 석회암으로 이루어진 절벽들이 너무 많기 때문에
Вы мне говорите? Я ничего не понял.
이렇게 절벽, 암벽 등반.
Сюда.
Assured that I would be supported by the rope, I decided to give it a try.
근데 저는 이걸 잘하진 않아서 이거 같이.
I mustered up the courage to give it a try. I had never actually tried rock climbing before.
Попробуй пусть. Тяжело?
Was the challenge too much for me?
Слушай, у тебя айфона нету сфотографировать это все? Не, налево уже нельзя. Скажите, что налево нельзя, потому что веревка уходит в сторону.
아주 심한 거기는 아닌데 이 잡을 수 있는 데가
Она отлично, она смелая. Это главное. То, что она смелая, это отлично.
This might be the last chance I get to try rock climbing. This is part of the fun of traveling. On our way up to the monastery, we discovered some caves.
네, 이것은 수도승들이 기도를 했던 장소들로 천정하고 이렇게 끄름 같은 게 굉장히 많이 있습니다.
The monks must have prayed here for months and perhaps years at a time. We admire the landscape, thinking about the disciplined lives that the monks must have lived in their monasteries. What kind of meaning must a place like this have for a monk?
Люди приезжают поклониться Богу, святая мощь. Вот там, смотрите, какая красота.
This monastery is nicknamed Maria. Saint Andrew gave it this name because it looked like Jerusalem, but the official name is Uspensky Monastery. This monastery was built during the 6th century.
벽을 직접 파고 창을 해서 창틀을 이렇게 박아 넣었네요. 여기도 있고 저기도 조그만 것들 다 그런 형식으로 돼 있어요.
The rooms of the monastery were made by carving into the limestone walls. They were similar to the catacombs used by the early Christians.
Понимаете, в Византии все монастыри уничтожались, храмы, хоть какая-то часть осталась, а в Крыму было уничтожено все. И после того, как уничтожено было все, вдруг возродился православный монастырь возле мусульманской столицы. Повторяюсь, но такого в мире больше нигде такого нету.
Perhaps it is because this monastery was built when Christianity's influence was fading, but the atmosphere is more humbled than grand.
Ступеньки, видите, ступеньки неровные, видите?
이 계단을 보시면 계단이 일률적으로 똑바르지 않고 막 이렇게 삐뚤삐뚤 약간 좀 간격도 다르고 보폭이 다르게 보이거든요. 네. 나다다. 이쪽 문화권에서는 바보의 계단이라고 불러요. 왜냐하면 그게 우리 머릿속에 많은 상념들이 많이 있는데 그 올라가면서 그것들을 상념들을 정리를 하면서 올라가는 거죠. 그러니까.
Many visitors must have gained wisdom thanks to these full steps. Another thing that catches the eye in the monastery is the different emblems carved into the wall.
Это на вот этой стене, вот, все, это мы еще делаем. Все православные монастыри православного мира, разных стран. Тут есть монастыри Греции, Канады, Соединенных Штатов Америки, Палестины, Израиля, Египта, Абхазии, Грузии, России, Украины, Белоруссии, Сербии, всех, Румынии, всех не перечислишь. Многих стран здесь. Но мы еще делаем. Тут будет это очень...
The gathered emblems seem to reflect the hope of unifying the divided religions of the world.
그렇게 높진 않고요. 우리나라 청계산 정도?
Finally, we reach the peak of Chufutkale. Because Ukraine's spring is felt first on the Crimean Peninsula, there was already grass and wildflowers on top of the mountain. The wide field brings a song to my lips.
Oh, we now this song, I can't say lady.
사운드 뮤직가 될 것 같아요. 여기서 찍은 거 아닌가? 와, 저쪽 건너편 보이는 뷰는 아무리 험난한 곳이라도 어딘가에는 꼭 우리 사람들이 그 자연들을 극복하면서 자연과 함께 꼭 털을 잡고 살아가고 있다는 거.
This rocky mountain has also seen several thousand years of the rise and fall of history. I am just amazed. Many people must have come and gone along that road. My heart will also follow this road to a new place in the Crimean Peninsula. Now, we are headed to the northern part of the peninsula. 75% of the Crimean Peninsula consists of plains. Although it is quite flat, there is not much rainfall, so the land is mainly covered with grass and a few trees. This is a great place for cattle grazing. The wide grassy landscape and nomads' cattle became the basis on which the Tatars established their nation and maintained it for 3 centuries.
이 우크라이나를 변방의 빵주머니라고 불렀다고 해요. 그 정도로 이 우크라이나 지역이 그 굉장한 곡창지대였기 때문에 이쪽에서 나는 어마어마한 양의 그 그 곡식들에 의존을 했던 거죠.
This reputation was maintained until the Soviet era. We visited a farm. Spring is a time when energy replenishes life. And when Tatar farmers start farming. Animals are the first ones to bring news of spring to this farm, rather than flowers. This farm specialized in raising birds. The bird is considered an auspicious animal by Tatars. They symbolize freedom of the spirit.
이곳에도 비닐하우스가 있네요. 워낙 땅덩어리가 넓어서 비닐하우스 같은 건 없는 줄 알았더니. 안녕하세요. Hi.
We unexpectedly met a person of Korean descent.
아니, 잘 따라다니네. 그냥 쏙 뽑아요. 해서? 아하. 오케이.
I thought it was Chinese cabbage, but once the outer leaves were removed, a regular cabbage was revealed.
그럼 제가 한번 해볼게요. 한 송이 뽑아보겠습니다. 원, 둘, 오.
This cabbage was as big as a Chinese cabbage used to make kimchi. And what about the taste?
어머, 진짜 달다. 달아요.
Thanks to the fertile land, it was chewy and sweet. The farmer showed what was used instead of fertilizers.
똥을 먹여서 이거 키운 거라고요. 지금 이거요.
오케이.
그래서 맛있다고요?
예.
진짜 말씀하시지.
새똥.
소똥이요.
새똥.
네.
소똥.
소똥.
되게 맛있어 이게.
네. 진짜 말씀하시지. 어쩐지 맛있습니다.
Well, this is what we would call a real organic product.
여기 진짜 공기가 너무 좋아요. 네, 어디 오든지 공기가 좋아요.
이 뭐?
이게 메론의
메론이.
모종이구나.
야,
달다고요. 이게 굉장히 단 거의 모종이라고요.
그래 이 메론 이만한 큰 5-6kg 되는데. 큰 게.
메론 하나가요?
예, 5-6kg. 예, 맛있네.
There is a reason why farming is so fruitful here.
그렇군요.
Украина 땅, 좋은 땅. На Украине очень хорошие земли, богатые земли, очень много гумуса, поэтому на нем можно сказать, что без химических удобрений все вырастает.
And there is also the water.
В Украине вода очень вкусная. Это артезианская вода.
The water really was clean and delicious. Cows and sheep are the biggest assets of a Tatar farmer. This is a traditional Tatar farm.
안녕하세요.
Туда заходите.
이도.
My goodness, They're raising chicks in the sink.
자, 진짜 자급자족이 그냥 집에서 병아리를 그것도 부엌 싱크대 바로 옆에서 병아리를 키우다니.
Now it's time to milk the cows. The veterans' milking technique has a distinct sound to it. There is a rhythmical sound to the milking.
Ну, она должна первый раз погулять не раньше, чем через 1,5 года телочка. Только после 1,5 года будет с нее хорошая коровка.
정말 옹골차게 짜시는데요. 이게 그냥 짜는 게 아니라 나름 리듬을 가지고 리드미컬하게 짜야지 소도 스트레스를 안 받으면서 이 우유도 잘 돌아서 양도 제대로 잘 나오는 것 같습니다.
Just as a grandmother's hand magically cures her grandchild's sickness, the hands which have looked after this cow all its life must be like a mother's magic hands to this cow. I first learned how to hold the teats and carefully imitated what I saw.
Смотри.
안 짜지네.
Но она кулачком берет.
So I try once again with more force.
굉장히 엄청 힘을 주는데도 안 되네요. 이게 안에서부터 꽉 잡아서 꾹 눌러도 안 돼요. 어머.
Нет, не получается.
이게 굉장히 아줌마가 할 땐 쉬워 보이는데 절대 쉽지가 않아요.
Смотри.
아프게. 제가 하니까 또 소가 좀 더 피하잖아요. 젖 짜는 사람과 소하고 어떤 유대감이 형성이 돼야지 소도 자기의 젖을 허락하는 것 같고요. 그래서 저렇게 또 유연하게 쉽게 보이지만 저렇게 우유를 획득할 수 있는 것 같아요.
The people in the kitchen are busy preparing for their guest. Dough is being kneaded to make something. Is it noodles, sujebi, or maybe dumplings? The dough is being cut out into circles like dumpling covers. But the food preparation is a little different.
우린 다 얇게 비는데 손으로 이렇게 만들고 또 만두의 모양도 약간 다르죠. 이렇게 잘하는데.
The filling is made of meat and vegetables. I could do this in Korea, but why is it so hard in Ukraine?
오케이.
куда можно эти легко? Да?
저는 왜 이렇게 안 될까요? 정말 너무 어색해서 안 돼 있어. 다시 배워야 될 것 같아요. 어떻게?
These are vareniki, or Ukrainian dumplings. Next, the vareniki are boiled in water.
Большую миску.
Dumplings take a lot of preparation, whether they're made in the Korean or Ukrainian style.
Как на лапшу. Туда заворачиваем капусту, картошку. Картошку любим с салом, толченку. И варим. И подается с поджарочкой. Капустой.
Корея вареник.
С капустой. Видите, когда они вот всплывут уже все.
Isn't this like Korean sujebi?
음식 이름을
Галушки украинские.
갈루스키.
Галушки.
이름이 갈루스키. 갈루스키. 안에는 아무것도 안 들었고 그냥 밀가루 반죽. 밀가루에 조금 계속 뭐 양념해서 반죽해서 우리나라 수제비, 수제비와 떡국의 중간 형태.
Это поджарка.
This is Ukrainian type sujebi. This needs to be included to make it taste good. This is salo, made of slabs of pork fat. It's usually taken with bread. The neighbors were also invited to meet the visitors from afar. The man of Korean descent we had met earlier also came along. And home-brewed liquor was served. The meal was ready to be served. This is what a traditional Ukrainian Tatar meal looks like. This is a typical traditional dish of rural farming households.
My favorite. Wow.
This is similar to Korean kimchi jjigae. It also tastes similar.
Борщ. Национальная украинская еда, борщ. Когда люди приезжают в гости, в первую очередь надо накормить борщом, потому что национальный украинский суп.
I feel very happy to be sharing a meal with such warm people.
스메타나를 더 넣어서.
Тогда вкусно. Борщ со сметаной вкусно.
이게 사워 크림인데 이 보시에다가 넣어서 저어 먹으면 훨씬 맛이 부드러워져요. 저는 이걸 많이 넣어서 먹는 걸 좋아해요.
Вот сюда тоже. По половничку.
맛있으면 집에 여자 주인은 음식을 잘하는 사람.
Sharing a meal is a magical way to share one's heart as well. Good food enjoyed with good people naturally leads to singing. Now that I have heard their singing, my hosts asked me to sing in return.
Спеть песню. Давайте пойте.
Thanks to the warm hours spent with the farmers, I will remember this time spent on the Crimean Peninsula with the Tatars as one of the happiest moments of my life.